Okay guys, I am back for a little bit this morning, actually most of the day. It's Sunday here, and I have a few minutes. Some plans changed, so we are going to just create. And this is the start of one of my design team projects for Poppiness, aka Susan Taylor Brown. And normally, see, I can show you a little bit. I think I showed you before a few of the things that I'm going to use. And I think I'll wait till the flip through because I'm going to use several of her kits. This is the Kiss Kiss kit, and this is going to be on the cover of this. And then then I'm going to be using her hands kit, and I'm not sure where I've placed that one at the moment. And then I'm using her black and white Eco Print kit, and this is printed on cardstock, as borderless as I can get it. So, and I probably won't use all the pages in this kit for this journal, just because it's going to be a ring bound and we're going to make it kind of a little bit smaller. So I've picked out a couple that I've already cut, and then we're also, I call it Ciao Bella, but I think it might be something else. I'm not sure. Oh, here it is. Here's the hands kit here. I knew I had it kind of all together. So just a couple of pieces out of this one here, and I hope that's not like getting too much in your face. So we'll use some of those papers. And then here's Susan's hands kit, and it's just people holding hands. I thought they were really cool. I love that one. Isn't that one sweet? So yeah, it's just a lot of variety of people holding hands. Like there's a little family holding hands there, brothers and sisters. Isn't that cute? There's a mom and her little girl holding hands. So this journal is all about love. Now, whether you wanted to use it for Valentine's Day or just because, it's not gonna be just like a lover's journal. Does that make sense? It's gonna have like the mom and the daughter in there, just whatever love is. And the color schemes are black, white, and red. There'll be some gray tones in there. But this is my very first ring bound journal. So if you haven't made one, then we'll be learning together, I guess. And if you've done it before, and you will probably find it comical. So I've done my covers, and I'm going to have to, they've already been clear coated and everything in matte. I may have to change that a little bit because I think it might get kind of scuffy. See, it's like already kind of scuffing. So we'll have to just see how I feel about that later, or if maybe, because obviously it'll have pockets on the inside covers, and then the outside we might have to do something on the back cover. Not really sure. But so far it measures 9 inches tall by 6 inches wide. So I've done a couple of pre-prep things. This is going to be a journal flip in the journal, or in this three ring thing here. So I went ahead and did this a little bit here, and I think I'm off a little bit. So when you lay it down, it's not quite lined up. So we might have to redo one of those. Okay. So then I've just kind of cut down these, and these measure about 8.5 by 10 3/4. And then I've cut these down to make large pockets, and I'll show you my thought process on those. I just wanted to make sure that they were cut in the widths here. And then I've cut a few of these, which we'll have to cut a few more. But we're just gonna, since I really don't know what I'm doing, we're just gonna kind of go with it, and I'll explain what I'm doing a little bit as we go. And I'm not gonna worry too much about the corners here because I'm gonna tip it in metallic red. And this will also work. Somebody asked me before on how I do the painting on just the edges. So we'll go through that a little bit. And I did already make my template in the same fashion that I've made other templates. The only difference really here is from the videos I've watched, everybody goes in about a 1/2 inch from the edge to make the ring bound. So I've made 1/2 inch 8.5 length for the inside pieces, and then they match up with this 9-inch piece here. So it doesn't look like it now, but it is pretty, like if I line it up here to where I want it to be, there's about half an inch on each end here. Okay. So I guess what I'm going to do is I'm just going to line this up, and let me grab my clips. And this is how I do all of those, like the lace journal or the bow, I don't know what you would call it, maybe bow journal that I just did, the purple journal, is when I'm doing these types of things with eyelets, I go ahead and I make sure that this is lined up to the edge, right? And then I go ahead and I use one of those, what do they call them, a bulldog clip now? I think we call them binder clips in the office. So that's what I'm going to do, is call them binder clips while we're working on them. So then once you lay it down, it's pretty well lined up, and it keeps your pattern from moving. I don't usually do that a whole lot in the journals itself, like regular journals. And then I just line up my hole here. And right now I only have like inch rings, and I think I'm gonna have to go buy bigger ones. I figured this would at least give me a, hey, you're going in the right direction. Okay, yep, so I've probably watched about, at the office when I had time this week, I've probably watched a good, probably 9 hours, not start to finish, but of different binding or ring bound journal videos. I've watched Emily edit Emma Femmer's Treasures. I went back and watched her ring bound, and then I watched Gail had a little bit of one, and then Wendy at Wendy's Journal Adventure has a tutorial out on it. So most bind it in about 1/2 inch from the edge. So there's my cover. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside, and I'm going to do the back cover here. And then we'll get started on the insides. Like I said, I'm not worried about like paint on the edges, right? Because I'm gonna tip all that in red metallic. And it is cold, cold, cold here, guys. Like, cold. Can't even tell you. Like, it's 6 degrees, and that's without wind chill. And we've been having snow pretty much all last week. It's so far has been like that wet, heavy spring snow. So it's melted down and off pretty well, but I don't think this one is going to melt. I don't know how it's still snowing at 6 degrees, but it is. I'm going to try to keep these videos at 30 minutes a piece. I think for everybody, it's kind of, for me, it gives me a little bit of time to reset in between videos, kind of get the next thing going. Oh, and I should say, this is that really, like the stuff you get in the framing department at Hobby Lobby, the really, really thick stuff. Chipboard. I don't even, like, I would tell you millimeters, but I don't. Let me see if I can measure just a little bit. It's probably at least 1/8 of an inch thick. So it's pretty heavy duty. And then I had questions. It's like, do you do eyelets all the way through? I mean, is that a big deal? Eyelets, like, because I'm thinking, boy, that might get kind of spendy if you're using nothing but eyelets, right? And then everybody's like, no, you can alternate between eyelets and like the little rings, reinforcers. Okay, so I'm done with that, so I'm going to set that aside. So we have front and back cover. And they look like they line up pretty well. Okay, so we'll set that aside. Then I'm going to get my scoreboard out here. And like I said, I've cut, these are 1/2-inch strips. That seems to be the norm. And then Tuesday told me that we needed to, when we score the side we want out, and then when we fold it, I don't know. We're gonna do what Tuesday said and see how well we like it. How about that? So these are 1.5 inches, so I'm gonna score it at 3/4 of an inch. Okay, and while we have it out, I'm gonna go ahead and do this one at 3/4 of an inch as well. Okay. And then these, I'm going to go ahead and use the scoreboard for them because when I was doing them the other way, so we needed it 1/2 inch. And then I'm going to have to kind of maybe eyeball where it is that I want this to come in at. See, I can't come over 6 inches. So we're going to have to go in just a little bit more, I think. So we're going to end up scoring at 5 3/4. And if we need to trim off a little bit, we will. So this is what Tuesday said to do. So we'll see. I guess it makes straighter, crisper lines. And it does seem to work. And it doesn't seem like the paper cracked on me. So let's fold this one in. And then I do think we're going to take off a little bit of the edge here. And I think instead of 1/2 inch, I think I'm going to go in 3/4 of an inch. Let's see. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to want at least 3/4 of an inch off, I think, right? Because that's about like that. Okay, I'm going to go right over to the cutter, guys. It's like right beside me here. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, so this will work for this one. Okay, that one's going to be a little bit smaller, I think. So let's pull our cover back over here. And they don't all have to be the same. From everything that I've read, they don't all have to be the same. All right, so that'll be one of the little journals. And I'm really trying really hard not to go to the whole, it has to be all the same size. My accountant brain and my crafter brain are kind of warring with each other this week. And I'll need to pull it back in here in a minute, but yeah, I think I like that better. So maybe we'll go ahead and just cut a couple. I'll probably do that off camera. Okay, and then we'll fold this one in about like so. So that one we're doing by hand. I think that'll be okay though. Okay, let's make sure it's gonna fit. Yep, it'll fit nicely. Okay, so then what I did is I liked what Yeah, but I'm still gonna have to cut down paper. Okay, and I think I'm gonna turn the camera off really quick because I'm gonna have to cut down some paper. I was hoping not to, but I didn't remember that this isn't quite 8.5. And then my other paper will end up sticking through, like sticking up through it. Okay, I'll be right back, guys. Okay, guys, I am back. Cut my little paper, and I'm gonna go ahead and while we're here, I'm gonna go ahead and make the other 3 in the same size. I think it will bug me if I don't have them that way, so I'm gonna go ahead and just score really quick at the 3/4 mark, and then we can eyeball the rest of them towards the other one. Make sense? Clear as mud, right? Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and score it at the 3/4 inch mark. Okay. And actually, I just thought of something that hadn't occurred to me a second ago. Is we'll just, since this is the one we like, that's scored at 5.5. So let's just go ahead and score it at 5.5 and see what we get. Okay. Now I think we're good. Okay, so then we can score down our marks here. Nope, that's off. How did I do that? What the what? Did I, oh, I grabbed the wrong one. Oh. Ah, what am I doing? Okay, well, that sucks. All right. Okay. So, look at these beautiful papers for a second, and I'm going to figure out exactly which one it is that I like the best. It's this one that I like the best. It's a good thing I printed out a lot of those kits, right? So let me just trim these down really quick. It'll just take me a second. And yeah, so tell me about your weekend, guys. I had tax appointments yesterday, so that was fun. I am enjoying the season. I've already done more taxes in the last week than I did all of last year, so that's pretty exciting for me. I like it. All right. There's 2 more. No worries, I'm not going to throw any of these out. I will keep them all. I am, however, going to get them out of my way, and I will use them either in this project or like for pockets or something. So, yeah. Apparently, I missed the 3/4 inch mark here. And did you guys already see that? Maybe this one isn't scored at the 3/4 inch mark. Nope, it's scored at the 7/8. But you know what? I kind of like the bigger flap on there, so we'll just score them at the 7/8. Oh, did I do that right? Okay. And then if it's scored at the 7/8, let's, before we move on, let me score it. Okay. We'll burnish it down really well in just a minute. Okay. Then if we score at the 5.5, it should come out right? Well, and it's, oh well. Sorry, Tuesday. All right, there we go. Beautiful. All right. Okay, so there's 2. And let's do the third one here. Okay, score at the 7/8. brush it down a little bit. Okay, sorry, I know it's killing you Tuesday, but we're just going to score it here since I already have it there. Okay. Now, for the longest, botchiest tutorial ever, right? Oh, and we are off. And that is exactly what Tuesday was warning me about. All right, that'll work. I'll just... Okay, burnish this one down really well. Oh, that one's off a little bit too. That's just goofy, isn't it? Okay. All right, so, like I said before, I want black and white and red. I actually think, so these are going to be obviously too wide, right? Because we don't want it to hang up anywhere. So what people have done is just fold in this. So once it's open, it is still writable, right? And I think I like that about it. So let's check. It should fit in beautifully, right? It does, and it looks like I don't have to crease up that far. So, and from what I've seen, people use about 7 pages in each one of these journals. So I'm just going to fold up some of these. Please feel free to skip ahead a little bit if you don't want to watch this portion of it. It will not hurt my feelings any. Okay, it's 2, 3, and then I think on the next one, go a little crazy and fold it the other way. And I've seen it where people have mixed different kinds of papers and smaller papers and, you know, whatnot, which is going to be great for other ones. But for this particular one, I think I'm just going to stick with the, just pretty much how I'm doing it with white. I might have some red that's already kind of cut down TN size. But I don't think I have very much of it left. It might be kind of cool and stark and like, wow, in your face type of thing, you know? Five, and let's do 6, and then I'll have you guys hang for a second, and I think that bag that I have is right pretty close to me. So and I think we'll just do the one signature together, and then we'll then I'll pause the video, whip up the other 2, so that you don't have to hang with me for that long. I mean, unless you want to, but okay, so that makes 6, and let me see really quick if that bag's right here. Yep, right here. I think, yeah, I just have a couple of reds left, but they might go perfect in the signature, but I'm not sure, they might be a little too long. So I might have to trim that down. Yep, they'll be a little too long. So I'll get the little chopper. And we're going to have to eyeball it because this one's a little bitty guy. Yep, 8. So bring this signature back in, find our middle. Yeah, we're gonna have to chop off that too. I don't know if I'm crazy about this little mini chopper. I got it at Tuesday morning, and I don't know. Some days I think I might like it, but then like you just saw getting closer to that end. Yeah, isn't that cute? That's super cute, huh? Okay, so we will line that out. And some people sew them, some people like sew them with the sewing machine, and some people sew them in like a normal signature. And I think I'm going to sew it in like a normal signature. Like, I don't think I want to, I think obviously I'm going to kind of eyeball it. I'm still gonna do the 3-hole pamphlet stitch. I'm gonna kind of say this is the middle. Just a little hole in there, okay. And then I'll come up here. I probably should have set those bullnose clips, but okay. Grab my needle. I have one that I like because I'm using, oh, I'm gonna have to remember I dropped those. One that I like to use when I'm using embroidery floss because it's a little bit, I don't feel like it like makes the holes very big. Okay guys, you guys are gonna love this. Okay, so Paul, I'm sure I've discussed this before, but Paul is like a sports fanatic. Like, it really doesn't matter what sport it is. Like, if football's not on, he'll watch golf. If golf's not on, he'll watch, I mean, baseball. If he's really bored, he'll watch soccer. I mean, he loves sports, and he's like a sports encyclopedia. I'm not even joking. Like, he loves sports. And you know what? I think I want to do a bow on the outside there. I think we've done it a time or two, but I think that might be kind of cute. And maybe this time I'll actually do some charms. And take those off so I can pull it as tight as I possibly can get it. And then remember, see, you can tell I'm not on either side of the signature, so you got to slip it back one side back underneath, right? Okay, I'm going to pull and even those out a little bit and pull as tight as I can. Okay, so the signature is in. And you know what, guys? I'm fairly certain we're going to hit some pitfalls. You know what I mean? Like things that I didn't know. So I'm going to go ahead and just journey on with it with you. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take this outer flap where we've scored it, and I'm going to glue it down. Oh, you hear him giggling? Isn't that cute? I don't know about you all, but I love to hear my husband giggle. He's so serious about life all the time that when he giggles, you know it's like, because it's truly amusing. He's always been like a fabulous provider for us. And so like, I don't want to say he doesn't find joy in life, but he, you know, I don't know. I mean, I think that's pretty typical of most guys. So I really, really, really love it when he giggles and laughs about even the weirdest things. Okay, so what I did decide just now, actually, is that I'm going to go ahead and put the eyelets on the journal portions. And you know what, I think in the next journal, I think I will just cut it down because that one's pretty bulky, which I mean, I think is still okay, but okay, so this one, if you'll notice, I put fold here, so I want it to be on the fold in this direction. Okay, and instead of clipping, I think I'm going to mark as close to the center as I can get with my pen, because I think it's just going to be too much to try to juggle without hitting the camera. Okay. And now we're just going to take these and snip and snip. Okay, we're going on a wing and a prayer too here. Okay, so this one will flip out this way if I put the eyelets in this way. Okay. Ho, ho, hum. Sometimes I wonder about these eyelet setters, right? Okay. All right, so there's signature one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little rings, and like I said, I think I'm going to have to buy bigger ones. I just don't have any. So wait, I want this on this side, and I just want to make sure they're going to... All right, that's the start of our journal. And they look like they line up pretty well. Yeah, okay. All right. So there we go, guys. That's our first foray into it. And so I'm going to make the other two signatures, and then we'll come back and make the pockets, and then we'll just keep on going, and then we'll go into the decorating. All right, guys, see you in a bit.